Hey guys, so I'm going to be talking about Jeff Smith's massive epic of high fantasy adventure and side-splitting comedy, Bone. Um, those who have read Bone, it's a fantastic comic series. I highly recommend it. And it's basically is a story of these three cartoony entities. They're all cousins, named Phone Bone, Phony Bone, and Smiley Bone. They're run out of their hometown of Boneville, and they get lost in this dense forest, which leads them into this epic adventure that is basically very Tolkien-esque high fantasy with a lot of comedic elements. And the thing that works for the series so well is that it combines these characters and their personalities, which are very over the top and cartoonish, with this more grounded, realistic story. Um, and it and it works so well. Like you wouldn't think the combination of slapsticky, shticky humor would work with something as serious as Tolkien fantasy, but Jeff Smith pulls it off beautifully. And not only is he great at making jokes, and the jokes in Bone are fantastic and very well paced. He's just an excellent storyteller because the whole thing is essentially one massive story. And there's so much going on, and there's all these different characters, and they all have their own plot arcs and their own plot story, and their own backgrounds and their own stories within this cohesive, massive whole. And it's interesting because it's such a contrast, and even down to the art style, the way the Bone cousins are drawn is in a more simplistic newspaper comic strip style, whereas he draws the other characters from the forest, the more serious characters, in a more realistic style. And these two intermingle. You see these cartoony Bone characters alongside the realistically drawn characters. And the influence of each other isn't evident. The more serious characters have a big influence on the Bone characters. And the Bone characters have a big influence on the more serious characters in this story. And it's not just a comic series, it's a massive undertaking of storytelling. This is on the level of something like Neil Gaiman's Sandman or Alan Moore's Watchmen. It's a serious story. It's very complex, with lots of ins and outs, plot threads running through, everything tying into everything else. Things that seem insignificant at first appear to be later are revealed to be quite important. There was plenty of drama, and there's plenty of comedy. There's plenty of adventure. There's a lot of action. Sometimes the action's quite intense. Sometimes it lends itself to slapstick. But it's never poorly written or poorly done. It's always spot on. It's obvious that he has plotted this entire story out, which is amazing in itself, considering how long it is. I've only shown you the cover of the one volume edition, but if you turn it on the side, it's quite a big book. It's well over 1,000 pages of story, and I've read interviews of Jeff Smith, the creator, and he said that he actually had planned the ending out from the first time before he started writing it. So he knew where it was going the entire time, and this cohesion shows. And like I said, it's very similar to Tolkien. There's a lot of high fantasy concept, a lot of kind of the same ideas. It's set in a similar kind of medieval type world, which is interesting because the Bone brothers have more anachronistic references and things. Apparently Boneville in this world are, even though they exist in the same universe, appear to be entirely different universes that are just next to each other. And it's very interesting, these concepts. It just makes you wonder what else is not in the story. Like, what other worlds or places within this universe that you don't see. And that's what I like about it. Like a lot of great epic stories, everything's in there, but there's also hints that there could be more things, the things that to kind of hint at a broader world surrounding all these events. But I can't recommend it highly enough. It's actually one of my favorite comic book series, and I don't know why I waited so long myself to buy it, but I highly recommend buying it, especially the one volume edition, because one, it's just easier to have all of them in one go, and two, this is actually Jeff Smith's preferred text. He prefers the one volume edition, and he feels that's the way it's meant to be read. And I respect creators' rights, and I think the artist's vision should be honored. So I definitely recommend picking up this. It's a little on the pricey side, but it's well worth the money. You can order a copy of it on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And I definitely think it has appeal. I think anybody could read it. I think kids, to adults, to old people, can all appreciate it. It's a very universal story, and there's universal ideas going on within it. And it's definitely something that I think needs a broader audience, and something I can see easily translating to non-comics readers, to just more of a general audience that just hasn't found the right attention. But yes, definitely recommend Bone, and especially recommend the one volume edition. So that's it for now, and I'll be back soon with another video. I don't know what it'll be over, but hopefully it'll be soon. I'm reading so many stuff right now that it's overwhelming. I just trying to get these videos out and try to get material to talk about. So anyway, that's it for now, and I will see you guys later. Bye.